Hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode of Warhammer Wednesday, because this episode marks the 20th episode of Warhammer Wednesday since launch. So I'm kind of trying to wrap my hand around that. I do the spin-offs regarding Imperium magazine, but it's been about a month since I've actually uploaded excuse me, a Warhammer Wednesday episode. Huge apologies for that. It's just been kind of an insane time in my life right now. We are back. We want to wish you a happy new year on behalf of myself and Tasha. We are going to try very hard to get more consistent with the content, shall we say. So I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you all once again for joining us for the journey. This month, January 2022, marks 1 year since I've been hobbying. So 1 year since I've been in the hobby, which is absolutely insane. It's been the quickest year of my life in so many ways, and I adore it. I still adore miniature painting as much as I did the very first time I did. So the first video I uploaded on TikTok, which was around May, I think, last year, and I still am like buzzing at these guys. So first of all, I'll give you a wee run through of what I've been working on in the background that you might have missed, and I also want to talk about a visit I did this week, which was to Warhammer World. Absolutely insane that I got to make the pilgrimage to that absolutely wonderful place. Blew my expectations out the water, sincerely. I was kind of, when I was there, I was pretty overwhelmed, to be honest. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, looking around, I was just like, I was like staring and like trying to take everything in, but also in my mind was just like screaming like, look how many models there is, look how many miniatures, look how good these paintwork is, the conversions, the just so much. It's a lot to take in when you're still newish and it's your first time there, and I was pushed for time. In the back of my mind, I only had like a couple hours to spend there because of travel commitments. Rookie mistake. I should have hoteled it in Nottingham and stayed there and made the most of it over an entire weekend, because I absolutely fell in love with the place. Like, I kid you not, people say it's cool, people say it's epic. You see photos, you think, oh, but when you are there, holy shit, just like the perspective of everything, particularly if you're used to building. I mean, I started off with Marines, so you know the size of a Marine miniature, and seeing the dioramas on the scale with models from this big to this big is just... Anyway, let's cover off some of the models that I've been doing over the last kind of month. I worked on some cheeky wee Endless Spells models, which I know digresses from the 40k element. It's Age of Sigmar models, but they looked so cool that I wanted to try my hand at painting these. So I'll show you these now. This was quite challenging to do because it was pre-built. I bought it from eBay. Sneaky wee cheat, instead of building it, because building is my strongest suit. But these ones I saw going relatively cheap on eBay, so I decided to buy these. So it would have been easier if I painted these individual parts before they were on the base. But hey, I managed to do like a challenge. Like I've said before, I am terribly guilty of not part building and part painting. I just kind of build it all and crack on. But yeah, this was a lot of fun to try my hand at. So yeah, this has been getting a lot of love over on TikTok and Instagram for the paintwork I did on it. Mix of trying to make it look semi-realistic, but also the fantastical element with it, you know, because it is fantasy models. So, and that is the mirror effect I did there. It was cool using different paints for this. My standard go-to paints are usually the Citadel paint ones, but I used the Tamiya paint for the gloss effect on here, and the Soulstone technical paint is what's used underneath, which I would use for my gemstones on like my Elder, like my Wraith Knight and that, for example. So yeah, that one and this part. Super cool models. They look really fitting in the cabinet. Like, I love coming in and seeing these. It's something different. A little bit of work went into that to try to achieve these effects, but yeah, it's a good learning curve. When you see models from a distance as well, it's just super close. They can look a bit sketchy, but a bit further back you can You can see what I've done there. So yes, that was the Endless Spells collection that I did. I've also been gifted a bunch of NIDs from my mate Ross, which has been fun, so I've been working my way through that. I'll showcase you some of them now. Back on getting some of these lovely gargoyles, but this time I went for more like a butterfly effect on the wings, just to kind of mix it up from the plain blue that I did previously. You can see, just to give them a little bit more depth. And anyone who's followed my work for a while will know that I tend to go for darker colours, and the purple blues is where I kind of feel most at home. The colour wheel regarding purples and blues is where I feel more comfortable playing around with those schemes. So NIDs are stereotypically usually much lighter than these, more fleshy tones, but I really like darkening them up and making it a bit different. So have those guys. Big Mama Harpy. This was super fun to paint as well. Again, just to experiment with different blends, different paint types. This was incorporating Citadel paints, contrast paints mixed with the Green Stuff World to give it that shine, as you can see. Not forgetting the technical paint blood for the Blood God for all the gooey bloody parts in the mouth and the bulbous regions here. But yeah, just to give a different kind of effect, something that stands out a bit more, which is a big model like. But yeah, it's so much fun to paint as well. I loved seeing these at Warhammer World. There were so many inspiring different types. It was just phenomenal. And lastly, this model here. This is the most recent one I've painted. I do have 2 works in progress at the moment for these to add to this collection. So I got this guy. And these are metal miniatures as well, so they weigh a bit more, much more sturdy. And this one. So watch this space for these being updated in the next wee while. I'm taking a little break from these just now because obviously I've been away travelling. I'm back home life. My kids have chickenpox at the moment, so it's been full on. And I have committed myself to do a 90-minute paint off with a man from a crag on TikTok. Probably this Friday coming, so look for updates regarding that. We are both going to be painting an assassin, a wee assassin. So if you tune into the socials on live on, I'm sure it's this Friday, GMT time, I'm not sure yet, but we will put up a post, I'm sure, advertising. And yeah, 90 minutes to paint the assassin. It's gonna be a challenge. I don't usually rush painting my models. I really like to take my time. So I'm a wee bit nervous of how that will come out, but I'm going to give it a go, see how I get on, push my pressure points a wee bit more and try and, it's good to get out the comfort zone now and again and see how you get on with that. So yeah, that is happening this Friday. And other hobby news, like I said, I was blown away this week by a trip I took to the mecca of all things miniature, which is Warhammer World down in Nottingham, UK. So the commute itself obviously took a wee while for me because I'm right up in the northeast of Scotland. Several train journeys and bus trips later, I managed to make it to the location, and just wow, sincerely, I felt like I was prepped for being there. Like I thought, yeah, this will be cool, like a bit museum-like, tour around, like, oh, that's cool. But wow, like there was just so much to take in. From the minute I seen the store, all those Forge World models and display cases showing, you know, well-known painters and artists' work, like those who are featured in like White Dwarf, mixed with the public's contributions and just the variety and take on different schemes and colours and kit bashes, and just, it really is the mecca for inspiration. If you're ever feeling a bit out of touch with your hobby or uninspired or like just looking for something else to sink your teeth into, I highly recommend getting your ass down there and have a wee wander around. You'll soon come out just like, ah, because that's how I feel. Like, I've only been doing this a year, but I keep saying that, like in that year I still think I've done a lot of different types of models. There's a lot of variety with the styles I've painted as well, and then to come across this little haven of just, it's pure inspiration. It really was. I come back psyched, and I've got so many things in my head buzzing around now, and I also want to push myself to have a model painted to the quality and standard that deserves a wee showcase in one of those glass cabinets in Warhammer World. I didn't think I had much dreams left now that I'd hit my 30s, but that's ambitiously, that is something I would love to achieve. I would love to have one of my items featured there, so that other people who travel and land there have the chance to witness something that I've made, and I can just feel so proud about it. So yeah, had a fantastic time. Goes without saying, we all find inspiration in loads of different ways for this hobby. You know, I know some people are really blown away by the works, the books, you know, like the lore, the literature, the story aspect, the tales of battles. Some people are inspired simply by looking at the box art, or using artistic tendencies from other mediums that they maybe weren't involved in before they picked up miniature painting. But I also want to give a shout out to the people of the hobby. So, like I said, it was about May last year that I started a TikTok account to showcase my models and try and find other people who were into the Warhammer hobby. And I stumbled across Mini TikTok, which is TikTok individuals who are miniature content creators. So be it the building, painting, lore aspect, whatever, but it's all kind of affiliated. So there's this little wee hub or network of people who inspire each other and bounce off each other and have similar senses of humour, and we're all geeks internally, but we're all multifaceted human beings with tons of other external hobbies. Some of us are stay-at-home parents, some of us are working 9-to-5 jobs, some of us own our own businesses. Like, there's such a diverse group of people, and through the one thing we all have in common, which is obviously our love for the hobby, it is fantastic to be part of that, and it's amazing how close you end up getting with some of these people. I had the honour of getting to meet one of my TikTok buds in real life on my travels. So whilst I was heading to, before I went to Nottingham, I went down to Glasgow, which is beside where the man from Crag resides, and we got to meet up and catch up, have some food, tour around a museum. Just, it was super fun. It was super nice to finally see in person someone that I've connected with really well via doing the painting live and that on TikTok. It was fantastic. So just a polite reminder that as much as the online element of this can be fun, it's also great to put a third dimension to that, and that is to meet your buddies in real life. Within reason, if you stay relatively close together, if you know they're not an absolute psycho, hopefully. Be safe. Obviously, did I just go actively, randomly meeting complete strangers without a bit of security? But yeah, there is something to be said about meeting your friends, people you've gotten close with in person. Highly recommend. It was really fun. So, Ross, if you're watching this, thank you so much for taking the time to meet me. It was a blast, and hopefully the first of many more meetups you have in the future, which I'm looking forward to. And when it comes to inspiration and people who inspire you, or people you get on with, there really has only been one person in my life that has not only inspired me hugely in the hobby aspect, but just with a lot of other things in my life. And this is going to sound really sappy and really sentimental, but like, the last couple of years have been tough for a lot of us. We've all had things going on, which has been challenging, and I happened to, just per chance, meet someone 3.5 years ago now, just randomly at a friend's wedding, who I never ever could have anticipated would become such an integral part of my life. We have bonded heavily over our love for the hobby, but he has pretty much single-handedly, I can't deny it, I keep downplaying it, but truthfully, single-handedly probably been my biggest inspiration for taking this to the degree I have, because he has imparted wisdom and knowledge and skills and answered all my technical questions, my basic questions, his patience with me knows no bounds. Watching him still light up and discuss something that he's been involved in for over 30 years is so encouraging to know that that little wee spark never fades. A lot of my day-to-day and real life friends would take the piss out of me for how excited I get about something about like a miniature or buying a model and that feeling. And he 100% gets that, he supports that, he understands and he encourages. So I want to take this moment to just absolutely thank the living shit for his existence, because after 3.5 years of not physically seeing him, I got to meet him at Warhammer World. He graced me with his presence whilst we were down there and did the honours of giving me the tour, and it was just... Honestly, I am I'm trying not to be emotional about it, but it was so good for so many reasons. Like, to watch somebody that you've admired in person in that environment, looking at the cabinets and their eyes and face lighting up the same as like yours does, but then watching the little cogs in his head, because he's not the biggest painting fan, but he enjoys the building and kit bashing element, and he was like, I could just see it like in his eyes and like in his head going over and just like studying things, and I just, like I said, I was overwhelmed at the place it was, but I was just taking a moment to step back and just look, and I was just so... I admire him so much, honestly. It was wonderful to share that experience with another person. It's like, I haven't been to a concert for a long time, you know, live music is huge. Means a lot to me, and that feeling you get when you're standing there with other people who love the band as much as you do, and you're like looking at each other and you don't have to say anything, you just know, you just understand. It was like that again. It was like getting to experience that feeling again in Warhammer World about miniatures. So if that, I hope that makes sense to people. If you can relate, you'll know what I mean. Oh, seriously, I can't believe what this hobby's done to my life. Like, it's just, yeah, it's I can't even speak. I am not someone who's ever short for words, but I just, the culmination of everything, 20th episode, a year in the hobby, Warhammer World, it's been a lot. In a good way. So, yes. I think I've managed to compose myself enough again. John, if you're watching this, thank you so much for everything you've done for me, not just hobby related, just with my life in general. You are absolutely amazing inside and out. I am forever grateful for that random chance encounter with you like 3.5 years ago. Please do not make it 3.5 years again before we see each other. I would love to make it a regular thing as well. Especially if it's Warhammer World related, please count me in. I will make arrangements to get my ass down there, because I am in love with that place, as you knew I would be. So thank you so much for everything you've done and taught and shared and still continue to do. You know, you're always at my beck and call should I require it when it comes to this hobby, and I always throw the most randomest shit at you and you take it so well, so thank you sincerely. I really appreciate it. Right, so on that note, I think I'm gonna call it a day for the 20th episode. The next couple of episodes will hopefully be based on some new miniatures I am painting. I'll work more on these NIDs to get them finished. I have sneakily treated myself to a couple of large scale models that will be being delivered this week soon as well. I'm not going to give the game away just yet, but for any other information or any other, if you want to keep up to date with what I'm working on, any progress, check me out on TikTok or check us out on Instagram, where you'll see regular updates about what we're working on. And again, hopefully me and Tash will be able to get some more joint content out shortly. We are only 3 subscribers away from reaching 300 subs, which is huge. Honestly, we're blown away. Again, if you can help us reach that, we will likely do something kind of fun together, themed to put out there. So thank you to you all. Happy New Year. I hope you're all doing well, and we shall catch up with you soon. Bye!